Hi, this is Infinity, and today I'm going to tell you about what to do at a jam session. So let me share my screen with you so you can see the slides that I prepared. All right, so here we go. All right, how to partake in a jam session. So basically, a jam session works like this. You play the head of the song, everybody takes a solo, 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 and then you play the entire song again. Or a shout chorus. If you don't know what a shout chorus is, it's basically an alternate ending where everyone plays together. You could either play the song in unison together, or there could be a designated pre-written shout chorus, or you could all improvise simultaneously a la Dixieland style if you like. All right, let's move on. So before you start your song, you want to decide as a group the order in which you are all going to take your solo. You're also going to decide how many rounds of the head each person will be soloing for, and that can vary from person to person. And that might change. What your pre-made decision might change during the course of the song, so you do have to look out for hand signals. Now, personally, before you start playing the song, you want to decide which scales you're going to be using for your solo, or have some kind of game plan for your solo. So are you going to be using the blues scale, the gospel scale? Are you going to just stick to the scale of the key signature of the song? You want to have some kind of game plan in your head. Remember when it will be your turn, of course, so keep your eye on the person that will be soloing just prior to you. Keep your eyes open for hand signals or head nods from the lead guy or gal. And then you have to also decide as a group if you are going to be using the chord progression of the song or a blow sheet. And if you don't know what a blow sheet is, I will get to that in a moment. So here's an example of a common type of song to use at a jam session is the 12-bar blues structure. So here's an example of a song which is a 12-bar blues. Now, you do not have to have a song in order to have a jam session and to improvise. You can simply pick a chord progression. So even though this is a song which uses the standard blues chord progression, the 1-4-5 blues chord progression, you do not need to start each song with the melody. You can just say, hey guys, let's jam to the 12-bar blues, and you can do that, in which case there would be no melody at the beginning and end. You would just use the chord progression. Or you can use any chord progression. You could say, let's just, do a 1-6-2-5 turnaround chord progressions. 2 beats each or 4 beats each per chord. So it would either be 4 measures or even just 2 measures. You don't have to have a song. But in this case, we do have a song, so everybody would get a copy of the song. Someone would play the head or sing it if you have a singer. And in this case, it's only 12 bars, so a good rule of thumb would be to improvise over it for 2 rounds. Now, I put down 1 to 3 because if there's a very talented person to show up and you want to hear them go on for a while, let them go for an extra round. Likewise, if you are a beginner and you're just starting out, you might not want the pressure of having to play a 24-bar solo. You might just want to go through once for 12 bars and then let it go if you're still learning, if you're still a beginner. Everybody would play their solos, and then you would play the head at the end, or you could make it a shout chorus. That would be pre-decided, of course, and then you're done with your song. Okay, so here's an example of when a blow sheet would be used. So say you have a song that is much longer than just 12 bars, or even longer than 24 bars if you have something that goes on for pages. This song over here is a 3-page song. I don't know how many measures it is, but it would be a little lengthy to have everyone improvise over the entire song. It would be a little lengthy. So what we would use would be a pre-designated blow sheet, which is a predetermined chord progression. So in this case, you would play the entire song. Everybody would take their turns improvising over the blow sheet chord progression. And then, when everybody's done with their solos, you could play the entire song again, or if it's a lengthy song, you can pick the song up just from the bridge and play that to end the song up. Okay, so here is an example of a blow sheet. In this case, it's the same song that you just saw on the previous slide, Light My Fire. So look how short this blow sheet is. So it's a 2-chord progression, 2-measure chord. Actually, it's only 2 chords. So 2 beats of A minor, 2 beats of B minor, 2 beats of A minor, 2 beats of B minor. Very brief. Now, in this case, when you are using extremely short chord progression, anything like 4 measures or less, even if it's an 8-measure chord progression, you really can't decide in advance how long you're going to improvise for. It's very hard to say, all right, everybody's going to improvise for exactly 24 measures. It's kind of a pain to have to count what measure you're on, especially if you don't have sheet music in front. And even if you do, it's very hard to count. So you have to look out for signals of when your turn is up and when they want the next guy to begin. Okay, so other things to be aware of before you play or even before you show up to the jam is to know the job of your particular instrument. So if you are playing a monophonic instrument, you would just be jamming, or you might be picked to play the melody, to play the head. And if you are in the rhythm section, so guitar, piano, bass, drums, or any other chorded instrument, you are going to be comping throughout the entire song, so you have a lot more work on your hands. Make known to the other people there what you can and cannot do. So that is important, that you make your abilities clear. If you don't know how to read music, you don't want them to plunk a piece of sheet music down in front of you and expect you to read it, not knowing that maybe you don't read or you're not a good sight reader. And remember, jamming is about the whole entire partnership. So this whole thing is basically about looking for signals from the other musicians that you're playing with and making this a group effort. It's all about communication, and it's silent communication. So I will put some links in the description field on the bottom of this video. And if you want to know who I am, here's my URL. I do give piano lessons. I have been giving them in my home for about 30 years now, but now I'm giving them on Zoom since the COVID-19 crisis came out. So I am available on Zoom to study piano or jazz theory. And here's the URL of my little meetup group, which holds jam sessions, which we are also doing on Zoom. And you are welcome to join that as well from anywhere in the country. Okay, great. So enjoy and have a great time at your next jam session.